number 1 of the EU portion of the Quake World Championship qualifiers, where we have a couple of more duel sets to go. We just saw Cooler advance, who we'll be seeing again in the EU regional, and 2 more of these do-or-die duel matches are about to take place. Our upcoming match is going to be Visal versus Claus. Now, Claus in particular has had some quite recent successes in Quake Champions, beyond obviously making top 16 in this Sunday playoff. Recently, in I think it was week number 2 of 125 FPS, I believe it was Claus that defeated Ro16 in winners. And obviously, Ro16 played incredibly well today as well, and we'll be seeing him again soon also. So, you know, clearly this guy knows a thing or two about taking out good Quake players as well as everyone else.
It's not a really big surprise to see some of the talent we've had today, though, honestly. Like, I mean, just to reiterate again, because I think it's never going to stop being a thing. Over 700 people entered this week, this first week of Duel. 700 people battled out for the chance to play here today in what is basically the top 16. And every single game we've played today and so far, Duel, the winner has moved on to our regional finals, which will be taking place later, and the loser has gone home. Looking to hopefully try again next week, and just some of the players we've had qualify so far. I mean, you know, Zron, Noctis, Neutrino, Agent, Vu, Cooler, all these massively familiar names in Quake, and it's not a huge surprise that these guys have been able to come back. Some cases have never stopped playing, but some of them have come back to Quake and are still just at the top of the level of competition.
But what really makes me happy so far is the champion variety we've seen. I mean, you went over some of the names of these players.
We've even seen Clutch
qualified
a lot today, and it's been massively like game-changing Clutch.
Agent's Clutch right now, I personally think Agent's Clutch is one of my favorite things to watch in the game, because it's just so different to what we've normally seen in duels so far, and it's almost like a personal take on how to approach the game, and you can clearly see that Agent had put a lot of time into learning what up-to-date Clutch is able to do because of his new mobility and all these new things he was given.
Once again, speaking of champion variety, I think today alone, we have seen every champion played again.
Yep.
Even Slash, you know, obviously it didn't work out too well, but Hell was able to play Slash in that first map and definitely seemed to know what was going on. I mean, he was against Cooler, to be fair.
I was about to say, he was against the likes of Cooler, so it's sometimes it's easy to go, well, you know, champion this, champion that, in terms of, like, you know, whether it affects a win or loss, but you are against one of the best players in the world, so that's a big variable.
I think it's a good look for the game, though. Being new, you know, still being in closed beta stages, that you can use these champions in competitive environments and, you know, not have it be a massive waste. If every champion is being picked at some point, many of them, I think with the exception of Slash, being picked regularly by multiple different players, that's a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, no doubt we'll see what these two players have to offer when we get our match started up soon, just getting the lobby set up and good to go. So cheers for being patient with us, guys. But for any of you guys that may be new and tuning in, the Quake World Championship, essentially, there are qualification processes that players have to make. And first of all, there will be a Thursday, at least from an EU front. There is EU and NA, and obviously this is the EU portion.
Yeah, so EU, NA, and there's Duel, which is the 1v1, and then there's Sacrifice, which is the 4v4. On the Thursdays, we'll be playing over the Duel qualification stages, where we'll play through to our top 16, and every week on the weekend show there will be our top
it's the top 16 players for Duel and then top 8 teams for Sacrifice.
Those top 16 players from Duel will come back for the weekend show, and then they will then play in these do or die games where every single winner will qualify for the regionals, and then the regionals they will then qualify for the finals of the Quake World Championships. So this is the first weekend show. We'll be doing Sacrifice after Duel is finished. We have 2 Duel series left to go, and then we'll be getting underway with our 4 Sacrifice games for the day. But it's a lot of Quake.
It's all going so quickly.
And it's a lot of high-level Quake.
It's all going so quickly as well. So as you can see right here, Carbonite saying, I feel like Slash is more of a champion for team-focused games rather than dueling. Now, I actually think that's a fair point, because Slash, obviously, the way her ability works, which is the trail that can explode, it's quite an obvious use in something like Sacrifice, where she can either take the power up and circle around that and deny that for the team, or take it around the obelisk and circle around the team and create that area denial. That's something that's not really going to exist in Duel. In Duel, her passive of the crouch slide and her ability giving her the speed boost, it's only really going to serve a purpose for her to navigate the map really fast or get away from a fight that's going wrong using the speed boost of her ability. I think in a duel sense, the reason we might not see Slash picked much in duels right now is because there are champions in the game that can kind of do what she can do with those abilities, but not better as such, but just in a different way that I think some people just might prefer. Anarchy can still move really quickly. His ability gets him out of a fight and speeds him up, just like Slash. Nyx, her passive gets her around really well, and her ability lets her escape a fight that's going wrong. just like Slash. So in a duel setting, I kind of feel like Slash might be a bit more, right now, maybe a bit more one-dimensional. That just might be how people see her. But in a team mode, that's obviously much like Galena, when an ability which serves one purpose and one kind of purpose only in duel becomes way more like, you know, multiple uses in something like Sacrifice.
Well, I think just overall, some of the most popular champions we've seen overall through the whole day, the whole week of duel, I suppose, are your Anarchy, Nyx is probably, I would say, the most popular, followed by Blazkowicz and Ranger. They do seem to be, you know, across all the games we've seen, some of the most picked champions by far. And then when it comes to those big bodies, Scale Bearer is quite popular, Sorlag is quite popular. But it seems that every champion has their place. But we'll be getting into this next match as soon as we can. Only 2 series of duel left to go, which means there's 2 more spots guaranteed up for grabs for those qualification stages.
I feel like we've been getting through these so quickly because, I mean, we only just started this World Championship qualification process, and already we have 6 players that are guaranteed for that regional. And the regional is literally what decides whether a player goes to QuakeCon for the Quake World Championship finals or not. So it's like already we've got some players good to go. Like the reality of that is pretty special, I think. And it shows how quickly some of these talented players have picked up. And you look at the list of players that have made it and it's of no surprise, really. Every single name in this list is like, yep, that makes sense. That guy's always been sick at Quake. And it's going to continue. I think that's going to be a running thing.
But I look at the scores of some of the sets today, though, and believe it or not, we've only had one 2-1 series, and that was the very first we had, which was Toxic versus Zron, and Zron was able to take it over Toxic by the skin of his teeth. It was probably the closest series we've had so far.
I think that was probably actually my favourite series of the night so far, was Zron versus Toxic.
But every other series has been 2-0, but you would never guess by how those matches are going themselves. Like, a lot of them are going down super close, very, you know, nitty-gritty. But the results all show 2-0, but it wouldn't seem that way if you know, by the look of how the games themselves are going. So it makes you wonder if we're going to see any more 2-1s today, or if these final 2 series are just going to be another 2-0.
Oh, I guess it entirely depends on the matchup that we see. Looks like we are good to go. Once again, we are going to be on the Ruins of Sarnath because it's a predetermined map, and then when a player loses, they have the option to choose the map if they lose. So already we can see Ranger, Nyx, and Anarchy. Very traditional. However, Visal going in for clutch. Now, again,
nice banana yellow clutch. That's what I'm talking about.
I know you approve of that one. I prefer the red personally, but either way, we can see a Sorlag as well. So Visal going for those big bodies, and Claus going for a Sorlag also. Now, I believe actually I was watching VODs from the Cooler Cup. Every Saturday, Cooler runs a tournament now for Quake Champions, so I was watching Visal play there, and I was seeing Clutch in his lineup too. So low-key, I was kind of thinking, I really hope this guy picks Clutch again, because it's a really fun champion to watch.
I'm pretty sure, though, this Anarchy Clutch Sorlag composition, we've actually seen today the exact same thing. I'm just trying to remember who it was that played it.
Vu. Would have been Vu.
Would have been Vu. We have a Vu.
Yeah,
Clutch
Vu.
Sorlag. Yeah, Vu. We've actually already seen this exact team composition.
Now, no doubt I think we might see it used a bit differently. The question is, do we see Anarchy used first? Because that was what we saw when Vu went with this composition. He went 2 Beach and 1 Anarchy, and Anarchy was first and just causing chaos. But when he went down, it then almost changed the pace of the match, because now you've got 2 giant, chunky champions that, I mean, they're not Anarchy. They are completely different in how you have to approach a matchup like that.
I think any of the characters that wichtL has picked on his lineup could definitely go first. Yeah. Even Sorlag we've seen run there quite a lot for certain specific reasons. Because I mean, on Claw's side, it's like that maybe we'll see Nyx first, but it looks like yeah, we're actually starting with Anarchy, I believe. Yeah, right. Indeed.
So once again, we are seeing Anarchy first. It feels like if Anarchy is going to be on a team of champions, it's almost always first. Like, I think we are yet to see Anarchy not picked first when he's on a team. But you can just see why on a map like Ruins of Sarnath, where he can just navigate the map so freely.
But he gets taken out by a single rail, though, Claus. That's one way to take Anarchy out.
I think that's the fastest we've actually seen him go. Now, Vishal's down to clutch. He's got clutch already.
And obviously, the longer Anarchy goes on, the more he can inject himself, the more max health he's going to have. What's the point in picking him last? That's not going to do much.
Absolutely tasty rails right now. We're still very low on health already. But this is actually one of the main ways that you can actually deal with clutch. I think the most effective way to sort of deter him at the moment is to just keep... If you're keeping distance, pick him off with rails and just literally whittle his health down. He's taken 3 rails, and yes, he survived, but look at his lack of health. He's only just got back up to, I believe that's 50.
He is still quite low, though, still underground.
He's very noisy.
He's got nowhere to run. Oh, the barrier's popped. That's actually quite good for Claus. Just getting that barrier out nice and early means he's not going to be able to use it to chase down if he can get a good fight versus Claus.
Yeah.
I've already talked about how good Clutch can be versus Nyx. The fact that she can see, a Clutch can see where she's going in that Ghost Walk if he's got his barrier up. If the barrier's not there, that means you can actually use Ghost Walk to escape like normal.
You just see that X-ray silhouette of how fast Clutch was just flying down that hallway.
it's quite ridiculous, so I will admit, but it's good. It's good because it means the character's decent.
Oh yeah, by far.
Oh, point blank with this yellow clutch.
Forced to use the Ghost Walk, and now he has to escape. And you can see Visal really trying to just establish distance. A couple of seconds until the heavy armor spawns. Oh, missed time just a little bit.
He does have the heavy armor though. Taking that away from Clutch is quite important. They held up for quite some time. The problem is, when you're against Clutch, you don't want to let him stack up and get those megas. He's going in for the fight.
He's caught
Ghost Walk.
Yeah, he's caught next to the back spot. He's going in for the shield. What? You didn't quite have enough health to make that rocket jump, Claus. Oh no.
I think that was a bit of a make or break situation. It was either, okay, I'm going to try and rocket jump hump here. It was risky. Unfortunately, just annihilated himself.
I think maybe he expected perhaps Visal was going to make the chase.
Maybe Clutch is just that intimidating. He just makes people do crazy things.
I go out on my own terms, Clutch. But I feel like maybe he was a bit worried about essentially the fact that maybe the push was going to happen, perhaps, with the shield wall.
See the patience coming out from Visal though.
Let's smash down the rail.
Oh, pops the barrier. Oh, the die rob didn't quite go the way he wanted to, and there's the combo. The rocket into rail, the special.
Now, Claus is down to his chunky champion. Sorlag's coming out. Oh, doesn't have a lot of health though, but the acid, it catches him at the last minute, and that's going to tick down. Even if the rocket didn't connect, I'm fairly certain he was going to get taken out with the acid regardless. However, Claus doesn't have a lot of health, but he has just caught Visal on a spawn, so he's got very minimal weapons.
Bit of a bloodbath this round though. Both players already down to their final champions 3 minutes in. Oh, no, they're hit. There we go. There's the final frag by Visal. He's going to take that first round over Claus. Like I said, 3 minutes, and every champion in the game, bar one, is dead.
That was just a quick round of many, many frags trading back and forth, but I feel like it was just a nice variety of champions. It kind of results in almost like a different sort of play style. But
to be fair, Visal actually lost his Anarchy very early in that round, so I'm quite surprised to see him make the full pullback with the clutch.
Yeah, he pulled it back really well considering he lost Anarchy first. There we go. The second these agile champions get their hands on a railgun, the match does change quite significantly.
Heavy arms up now. This first fight could be here. Oh no. Oh, that rail misses. That's the kind of rail that took him out first.
Yeah, I mean, he died really quickly because of those rails that came out in the first round. It's no wonder he's being a bit more cautious, I think, this time, making sure it doesn't happen again.
Mega health got for quite a while, though. A fight breaking out at both of them at the same time. Look, at Claus is significantly low on health.
They both have their survivability, though. I believe Claus should actually have his Ghost Walk, on top of the fact that Visal has got his injection as well. Excuse me, sorry.
Another fight breaking out. Claus still very low, kind of starved on pickups, it seems, at the moment.
I feel like at the very beginning, especially, normally when you expect an Anarchy, when you see an Anarchy, your first thought would be that it's going to be a really fast, aggressive round. But I kind of feel like it might even be the opposite of that. I feel like when Anarchy is on Ruins and he's able to sort of run rampant at warp speed, speaking of which, actually Claus coming up behind him with the assassination. No way was Visal ready for that. And he loses Anarchy again because of a great Ghost Walk by Claus.
Well, I mean, that's what we've been talking about, those aggressive Ghost Walks. If you use the Ghost Walk when they can't hear you do it, and they don't see you do it, you literally just appear on them, you teleport up, and that's it, they can't see you. And that's it. If you've got a rocket launcher, you're just appearing with 100 damage direct rockets.
Exactly. And now, in the last round, he was able to sort of try and compete with Clutch by doing a lot of damage from far distances. But I wonder if he's going to get a chance to do it again. Goes in,
the barrier is popped. Oh, and the Ghost Walk too.
He can still see him. Oh no, and he catches him with a rocket. That's going to be an absolute matchup changer. That Claus was just going to go in for the Ghost Walk and go, that's fine, I'm going to get out of this bad situation. But Clutch can still see you when you go invisible.
No, but the thing is, Claus actually, he hung around for the fight. I think he was planning on just using Ghost Walk to, like, waste the time on the barrier and then almost, like, go back to a normal fight. But the barrier lasts longer than you're invisible for.
Yeah, much longer. Almost like almost three times the length, actually, in fact.
Yeah, just slightly miscalculated there, unfortunately. It's going to even things out to 2 champions apiece once more, so not quite as frag heavy as it was last round, but still getting there.
Oh, this round is over halfway finished now, though. Oh, going in for the shield wall.
Oh, that airborne direct rocket. Claus actually took a deceive. He's got quite a lot of health left, considering how much he just took.
Yeah, especially seeing as the fact that he's now actually just caught Ranger with a bunch of crucial damage too, forcing Claus to run away from the fight. A little bit too late on this, I think. Oh no, actually Claus, was he looking to meet him? Confident decision, but kind of feel like he may have allowed Visal to sort of go towards that mega health. Neither player actually really looking towards that mega health this game. Have you noticed that?
It does seem that way. It's a bit weird because that barrier from Clutch almost guarantee it for him. But you can tell Claus is trying to be. I mean, obviously patience above all else. So they're being more careful than usual. But it makes sense. We've seen what can happen when you rush your way in.
Much slower game. Neither player with a champion advantage yet. So even though we go into a 1-minute warning, do have a high risk of going into sudden death at this point.
Well, quite an interesting matchup to be stuck on sudden death with, though, is the Ranger Clutch. Because let's not forget, the Ranger Dire Orb does actually go clean through the barrier.
Yeah, I think the barrier is one of those interesting facts where it's like they can sort of directly counter some champions, but the nature of just how it works
but it's not a guaranteed protection against others.
Yeah, is that it's almost like, you know, it beats some champions in terms of like ability versus ability, but at the same time, some champions have great counters to his shield wall, and the Ranger is one of those examples.
Oh, there we go. The barrier is popped. Oh! That was wonderfully timed. Claus waited for him to take a shot, so the barrier went down and he took advantage of it. And now he just has to run away for 30 seconds and he'll win the round.
That was superbly timed. He waited for the rail to go down. Obviously, when Clutch fires his weapon, his shield will go down. However, hang on a minute. No, he went down to go towards the armor, but he's losing a lot of health and chased down. I wonder if it was worth going down there. No doubt Visal was waiting for him, and now we risk going into sudden death.
But he is very low on health, though. If Claus can find him, he can finish him off, but it looks like he's just doing a good job of topping up.
Oh, no, he's caught him with the trousers down, and there we go. Just like that, gets another round on the board.
Yeah, that's going to be it. 1 round apiece. I mean, these matches are going down really low to the ground, just like that. I mean, I like that, though. I kind of prefer to see the frags flying in left, right, and center.
At that last minute, you know, at that last possible minute where he essentially was trying to look for just a bunch of small health. He was trying to not really stay obvious with how he escaped.
Oh, they trade ability for ability. Ghost Walk comes through, fully healed again. Visal doesn't have any armor, which... Oh, that rail! That could have killed him by itself! Let's not forget, he will die in 1 rail if he has no armor. It's just anarchy things.
Indeed. Now, every round so far, Visal has lost his Anarchy relatively early. Even though in round number 2 it went on for a lot longer, he still lost his Anarchy early on. And he's going to lose his Anarchy just as early again. He gets hit by that mid-air, and Claus is in the driver's seat with more champions on deck. It's going to be naturally faster for champions like Nyx to actually get their full health back as well, because obviously they have less health, which means that getting full health is easier for them.
Oh wow, Claus taking a full rocket there. Very weak, nothing left to really survive with. This mega health, there we go, that's exactly what he needs to top himself back up again. Nice and healthy, but still no armor. It's a bit at risk of some of those long range weapons, but gets a little bit now. I like the pathing though, when they realize what they need. Oh! Yeah, he thought he was going to get followed, I think. Just wanted to pop that just in case.
I think in some matchups like this, it's better to be safe than sorry, because you don't 100% need the Ghost Walk to win a fight. But if it's a matter between, you know, risking getting fragged and losing your Nyx or keeping your Nyx, then I think sometimes it's always better to just sort of play that safe bet. Don't even run the risk of getting taken out. Oh, meets him into the rail. These rails are connecting really well, but at the end of the day, Nyx just does not have a lot of health, and wichtL just has a massive life lead going into this final fight. He's tanked 3 rails, and wichtL is still alive. Oh, he gets hit by the 4th! The trade coming out, but 4 rails is what it took to finish off that Sorlag.
Just to add insult to injury, it wasn't even a clean frag. They traded again, and we once again find ourselves with this final pairing. Oh, not quite. Claus has the Sorlag back up, but wichtL now on his last champion, this Clutch. Which I've actually seen do quite a lot of work by itself, but now he has to take out 2 champions.
Hang on, the aggressive shield wall, but really nicely timed Dire Orb actually. Claus not even being close to that situation, but look at the fact that now Clutch, 88 HP left. He can only tank 2 more rails, and then he'll, well, that's it. 8 health left.
8 health, that is not much at all. If he gets tagged by anything, he's going to be dead.
Bear in mind, Clutch has by far the biggest hitbox in the game, so if Claus didn't see him there, He was looking left. He should have been looking right, but not that time when he was looking in the right direction. 2 rounds to 1 for clawz.
Looking really strong so far. Really strong. I mean, 2 to 1. I mean, it just comes down to rails. You know, we're seeing a lot of rails be almost like the deciding factors by themselves today because they do so much damage. And if you're like consistently hitting them in a row, that's a lot of health.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're a bigger target like Clutch and you're caught without your barrier.
But I guess that's always going to be Clutch's biggest weakness, is that he has got the largest hitbox of any of the champions, which means that if you are even a remotely good shot, it's unlikely, unless it's a great dodge, that you're going to miss many shots on it.
Oh.
I feel like clawz has actually a very aggressive approach to dealing with this Anarchy. He's not really letting wichtL sort of run rings around him.
That's something we see Anarchy, especially in Ruins of Sarnath, do quite a lot. Have a lot of freedom of movement, getting around wherever he wants to be, basically whenever he wants to be there. And clawz is really kind of just calling him out on that.
It's a very full-on approach, but clearly it's working out for him because he is 1 round up on wichtL, 2 to 1. 3 out of 5 maps, so he has to do is win 1 more round. It'll be up a map. This Anarchy versus Nyx situation and matchup we're just all too familiar with at this point. 2 very popular champions in duel specifically.
Heavy armor up in 5 seconds time. There we go, try and take this fight. Oh, Anarchy versus Nyx, he's quite low. Ghost Wall comes down, Anarchy gets hold of the heavy armor. Oh, misses that final rail.
Yeah, it wasn't able to actually get the shot off in time because Nyx was stuck in that Ghost Walk for just a little bit too long, letting wichtL get away unscathed. Now, every round so far, he's lost his Anarchy really early on. You wonder if he's going to repeat the process with this.
Not quite sure. Looks like he's hovering around this mega health. He definitely wants to control it. For 2 seconds, clawz isn't really able to stop him from doing it, so wichtL is going to get hold of both of them. Oh, rail didn't quite land on the mark. Rocket's coming through, though. He knows he's around the corner.
Yeah, I even see like clawz having to use that wall jump just to make sure he doesn't get hit by a wall, but otherwise almost be guaranteed splash damage on those rockets.
Oh, wow. Surprising each other there. Don't think either expected them to be on the side.
Definitely caught off guard right there, however. Oh, no, he's down to the point! 1 HP and a direct rocket seconds before the mega health. That was almost a costly mistake, but what a turnaround right there.
That's what clawz needs to finish this round off, though, forcing him off Anarchy and bringing him left with, once again, just the Sorlag and Clutch that clawz has been doing an amazing job of playing around.
That was unbelievably close. Too close for comfort. Unfortunately for wichtL, he has lost the Anarchy once again. I just feel like clawz has just dealt with this Anarchy matchup so intelligently. And again, he's going to be using the Ghost Walk. clawz trying to read where he's going to come out, but unfortunately is unsuccessful. Gets a bunch of damage on the LG and finished off with the rail. wichtL down to his final champion, which is going to be Clutch. All or nothing.
It's quite a tall order of a comeback to make, but don't call it impossible. It's just going to be quite difficult with Clutch. I mean, he's playing really well. I mean, he's into this Nyx, so he definitely can chase down this Ghost Walk, but waiting in the wings is Ranger. A Dire Orb does have a bit of an answer to what Clutch wants to do, and even then Sorlag as well. It's going to be quite difficult, I think, unless he can just get some ridiculous momentum, controlling these power-ups, and then just keep it going. Oh, but he got hit by a rail anyway.
Going inside, is he using it aggressively? wichtL's on the hunt. You can still see him, but he's having so much lightning gun. It's looking likely clawz is going to do it, and he does. 3 straight champions, and he's now got 3 rounds up, 1 game.
So that's going to go in the way of clawz. This Nyx, once again, the Nyx just being such a game changer by itself. It's I think almost like Anarchy in a sense that if you can really get momentum at first. I mean, I say about a lot of champions, but I think it might just be a momentum-heavy game at first, especially in the duel mode. But like, when you start doing what you're doing, and you're managing that Ghost Walk really well, and you're hitting those rails, like, that seems like it'd be a really dangerous combination.
I think he just played it really well as well. Like, because we've seen Anarchy all of today, and Anarchies that we've seen, it's just been constantly running around the map, making those sort of just rotations consistently around the map, taking
not being
all
afraid
the items.
to really take the fight to Anarchy whenever.
But I feel like that's what clawz did. I feel like the second he thought that wichtL was going to be at a location, he would almost just sort of bomb it straight in and force a fight situation that he would almost always come off better. Plus, on top of that, hitting really clutch rails. Like, even though Anarchy's hard to hit, staying true to it. I mean, we saw that final moment. It was like the mid-air rocket where we saw the Ghost mode go straight in. He tried to time it so the Ghost mode would disappear right as Mega Health spawned. Mistimed it by a brink of a second. And here comes wichtL with the Anarchy, 1 HP left. He landed that mid-air rocket and actually managed to come off better in that. And it wasn't a trade. If that was a trade, that could have been an entirely different round. But because he came off better in it, we saw that complete rampage come back. And that exact same Nyx that survived on that little health made the entire sweep on all 3 of vichtL's champions.
But then when you survive with that 1 HP, right, you then have to recover as best you can. You have to find, okay, what health is nearby? Is there any armor? Especially armor if you're playing as Nyx, right? We've already seen that when you're playing as Anarchy Nyx, and you get caught, you know, with your pants down and you don't have any armor, you're just going to get hit by 1 rail anywhere, and people aren't having issues hitting rails today. So if you don't have any armor, you are just a free kill to that. But to survive with 1 HP, but then recover so fast to be able to then take out Sorlag immediately almost, I don't know. I think there's just a lot to commend there. But that was just game 1. Ruins of Sarnath, once again, is going to be down in the way of clawz.
Once again, the map is always going to be predetermined in the initial game. And then in this case, because it's round of 16, it's always going to be Ruins of Sarnath, which is why we've seen that map so much. But in this case, these guys have an option to choose. So, you know, you wonder, is it going to be Blood Covenant, Blood Run, or Corrupted Keep?
I mean, it just comes down to what champions they want to pick, right? I mean, surely that's a big deciding factor.
So right now, Big Bodies, Sorlag, and Clutch, with those...
Corrupted Keep seems good for them.
That seems to be like the most effective... Right now, it really seems like that is like one of the most effective maps for those giant, chunky,
well, Corrupted Keep
champions.
Is the map that we saw Agent, who really sort of brought out Clutch for the first time today, like in a ridiculously dominating fashion. Corrupted Keep was the map that he really just showed that, yeah, this character is an issue if you don't have an answer for it. So perhaps Corrupted Keep could be the option here?
Maybe. I mean, only time will tell. We are moments away from finding out what map will be selected. So obviously vichtL, because he didn't win that map, he has the option to choose it himself. But with those giant champions, they do seem particularly effective on Corrupted Keep. So I think we might see that. If he keeps that composition, if he picks the map...
I think what really meant to say was vichtL was unlikely to pick Corrupted Keep for that reason. You know what I mean? Don't give Clutch that stage. But at the same time, perhaps... I mean, what are the options, right? Blood Covenant, Blood Run, or Corrupted Keep?
Yeah. It's hard to call, really, isn't it? Because also, it depends. We're kind of assuming that he might go with the same champions, which might not be the case. You might be picking a new map with the anticipation of going with maybe an entirely different team. So we'll see. All right, well, we've just been informed that the map is indeed Corrupted Keep, which means is the team composition going to be the same thing? I wonder.
I mean...
I'm inclined to think maybe. If it's the same champions, we'll see.
I think so. I mean, if he's still running with that Clutch, then, I mean, if again, just going by what we saw from Agent, surely that's just the right thing to do. Especially if, you know, we're seeing clawz do so much damage with Nyx, particularly, and we saw how Agent just shut down rails Nyx on that map. It just seems like a smart choice overall.
Well, we'll find out shortly. We've currently gone into the champion select phase. The match is going to start any minute. So right now, currently, vichtL is 1 game down. But it does seem like he's picked Corrupted Keep versus clawz, who, if he wins this map, will move on into the EU Regional to face off against the rest of the competition. This is our second to last dual map.
That bright yellow clutch again.
I know you're a big fan of that.
It's sweet. Right, let's have a look at the draft. So the same... clawz has gone for... he's actually swapped out Nyx with Blazkowicz.
Now, vichtL has kept his composition, though. He's got that Sorlag, Anarchy, and Clutch pick.
Do you think he's actually swapped out Nyx because he saw how much it just didn't work? Versus, you saw Agent's Clutch earlier on just shut down Nyx.
Potentially, but wow! Either way, a very early frag coming out by clawz with both the lightning gun and the acid spit. And he's done a good job of actually getting some of his health and armor back, so he's going to be ready for this next fight anyway.
Indeed, he has, and Clutch already off the table, so if that's what vichtL really wanted to do more, it is already down. Well, have to be really careful. Oh, Miga's hit!
For the first time in this series as well, vichtL has actually not gone for Anarchy first. It was his second pick this time round. He's got the super shotgun, but unfortunately just not able to do enough damage to really count. And clawz back up to 100 HP, make that 125.
Oh, sort of like getting poked down quite a lot here, but that massive amount of overall HP really shining on at the moment.
Consistently getting that super shotgun, but it's just not enough to count at the moment.
Oh, obviously seeing that damage over time through the wall is letting clawz know exactly where he is. Oh, that lightning gun.
No champions are going down just yet, but the health is super low. vichtL goes in for the injection. Is he confident he can stay here? Trying to go around, juke the rockets, but it's not finished. Sorlag still has 2 HP left.
That's all right. That's 1 more HP than he needs.
Insane. I mean, he's landed so many shotgun blasts, but it's just not enough. Claus still standing.
Oh, super shotgun. Look how much damage that does versus the bigger targets.
On the lower health, the shotgun just never killed. But the second Claus picked up that mega, that's when the 100+ damage came out and finished the job. But now, as you can see, wichtL now sticking with Anarchy. But now Claus going on to Blazkowicz.
See, he's weighing on that mega health. He's going to be able to secure it though.
wichtL heard it.
Coming through.
Yeah, wichtL heard it get collected. Oh, catches him from the top with a rocket. That's going to do big damage. 79 on top of that. BJ looking like he's in a bit of trouble. Oh, he heard him use it.
Oh, he faked him out. Goes for the dual wield as well. But he's got the injection, not quite immediately in trouble. The dual wield runs out. Still got the lightning gun though. Still trying to do a lot of damage. And what a shot!
That was fantastic. And now Claus is down to Ranger. wichtL with his Anarchy. You know, I think his Anarchy's done such a good job. I really feel like we're going to see him go with Anarchy first next time. Catches him with it. Who's going to win on this? Going in for the injection. He's not finished. There we go. What a round from wichtL. Now, that was a really good call. I'm expecting him to actually go Anarchy first in this round.
He was also just playing around the injection really well, right? He was just saving it for those fights. And when he got really low, I mean, it seems obvious, right? Topic yourself up when you get low, but he was doing it perfectly to the point that it was almost guaranteeing him every fight.
No, he's gone in for clutch again. Oh, there we go. The shield wall to just soak up everything. And that's just the bully playstyle that Clutch brings to the table. If he's got a rocket and a shield wall, you are in big trouble.
Oh, what a prediction there. He was going to go straight to that rocket. Obviously, this is a map with no rail, so that rocket launcher is kind of the most desired weapon.
That point-blank super shotgun looking to finish him off. Speaking of which, though, he's got to be careful because they have the dual wield. Claus really using the dual wield just to keep wichtL away, establish that distance so he can safely escape. Clutch has the mega health now. He's going to be super chunky. Oh, wow. He's not ready for Claus to come around. Going in for the shield wall again. He has got it, but with 35 HP, he's got to be super careful. Oh, he went in for the chase. Yeah, he just ate a bunch of lightning guns.
Just kept it at bay there, like absolutely at arm's reach. We're going to get this barrier cool down a little bit. Oh no, that might be death, yeah. I'd be very surprised if he survived that with the amount of health he'd taken.
That's going to be a free mega health for Claus as well. He's going to be nicely stacked up in terms of health. And now, again, wichtL going in for that Anarchy pick second. I'm really, honestly, really surprised with the performance that we saw. We didn't see wichtL go in for the Anarchy first.
Oh, he's popped the dual wield. I think he can chase him down. A little bit.
A little bit too far away, unfortunately.
Oh, a little bit of rocket damage, nothing too much. Drawing the mega health though, that's going to be really important. The Anarchy is already being hard enough to deal with as is, let alone when he's stacked out on health. Alright, has control of both of them. Wow, much better round for Claus.
Now, you see this a lot, I think, on this map in particular, where someone tries to lightning gun and the opponent keeps them at a longer range with the super nail gun. Because it's got more range and more damage. Obviously, no hit scan, but at the same time, it means that if you're going to lightning gun someone else, they're just going to have that range advantage on you. Oh, catches him from the top down, but actually sort of almost rocket jumps him back up. And they kind of just trade positions at that point.
Oh, there's the dual wield. Oh, and he's not going to survive this time.
That does so much damage, especially against someone like Anarchy. Now wichtL down to a saw lag. It was a really good comeback from wichtL in the first round, but Claus looking much more comfortable this time.
Oh, look at the tracking on that lightning gun.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Melted.
Yeah, absolutely deleted from existence. One round apiece. Claus, after what was quite a one-sided first round, is able to bring it back.
Wow, once again, this would have been the map choice of wichtL, so you can see why he's picked it. I think Corrupted Keep.
It seems like a really good map for Clutch.
Oh, by far.
Like straight up.
Here we go, this time now going in for that Anarchy first. Understandable. I think Anarchy is still putting in the most work out of all of his champions. Clutch is doing a good job as well, but with wichtL in particular, his Anarchy is doing a great job in this series.
He's going to be able to take him down. He can see how low he's getting him.
He can see exactly where he is because of those number values. It's really an underrated tool. And the lightning gun to finish it off. If he just got a little bit of a closer super shotgun, maybe we would have seen Sorlag go down. But because of that, totally fine.
But wichtL also opted to start with Anarchy there instead of Clutch.
Yep.
Lost it straight away. That's definitely not the start he was hoping for.
Well, that's just kind of what we mentioned, right? Where it's like, I feel like his Anaki's been doing so much work. It makes sense that he's picked it.
A little bit of damage coming out from Machine Gun, but really not anything too substantial. Oh, the landing on tracking coming through. Claus is being really good with this. Oh, he takes the health from him!
Oh! Point blank, though. Wow.
That was rude.
That was just one of the most satisfying things to hit at point blank as a super shotgun versus the big body. They just dissolve. However, Visal going in for clutch is his final champion again in the round. He has a lot of work to do. Are we going to see the acid spit going straight through? He's managed to take it down. At the same time, those number values, he knows exactly where he's run off to, but then again, it's no mystery. The mega health has spawned.
I mean, he made the read. You know, there's health to the left, health to the right. Claus went to the right. Let's go to the left. Orbeez chasing him down again, taking this fight immediately, and that's going to be it. And just like that, after a pretty one-sided first round and start of the second round, he's actually able to bring this one back to a full match point.
Claus looking super dominant at this moment. These 2 rounds have been very convincing. And it was a really strong first map for Claus as well. If he wins this round, he will be moving on into the regionals, facing off against the rest of the top EU region competition. However, wichtL actually has opted to go back to picking clutch first this time. Maybe confident he can get some early frags with that shield wall in hand, especially with the rocket launcher being as dangerous as it is.
He has used the barrier already though, and it hasn't quite worked out. The health advantage is kind of, well, now it's in the way of Claus, but the fight itself was kind of even at the time.
3 seconds before the heavy armor spawns, but right now it kind of looks like Vistal's looking to secure that.
Sunski's just got a normal machine gun. I'm not quite sure if that's enough to cut it.
From distance, you do see some people almost try and sort of like snipe with range, because bear in mind there's no railgun on this map, so the heavy machine gun's the closest thing you have to something that will snipe from distance.
You can see him just really trying to get that distance away.
Oh, he's headed him off absolutely beautifully, and he landed the acid too! How much damage was that? That was a fantastic sequence from Claus, where he rocket jumped to give himself that boost of speed, cut Visal off in his tracks, and just annihilated him with the acid spit.
And it's the power of Sorlag. If you get some just impact damage by themselves, and then it starts to tick, it can add up to a ridiculous degree.
Now, already Claus has the champion advantage. If he can take out this Anarchy, Vistal's in big trouble because he'll be down to his Sorlag, and that's it. Bear in mind, he's now match point down. He really cannot afford to lose any more champions if he wants to pull this one back.
Well, I think if any of his champions have sort of been looking impressive enough in the series to do so, it's Anarchy is probably his star champion so far. At the same time, you know, he's very, very squishy. Oh, and just like that, he's going to go down immediately to acid, bringing him down to just a lone Sorlag, who is admittedly immune to the...
No, I caught the spawn! That is such an unfortunate spawn. He spawned right in the line of sight of Claus, who just went in with the kill there. Fantastic game, but such an unfortunate last moment for Visal.
That was, I mean, another 2-0 victory, I think a little bit closer than some of the ones we've seen so far. But, I mean, again, just considering why Visal picked that map, I think Claus played around that really, really well, especially with the Sorlag pick. You know, they're definitely starting to put a lot of value into Sorlag, particularly just seeing how much damage you get. If you start hitting those acid puddles on sort of, you know, on impact, as well as the damage over time, that was pretty ridiculous.
Well, I think in general, we just saw a good answer to a couple of champions that have been giving people a headache today. Anarchy's been quite a big problem for some of these players. Clutch, absolutely in particular. But Claus just did a really good job of just keeping it together. Clearly knew what he could and couldn't do. I like the fact that on Corrupted Keep, he was prioritizing things like Super Shotgun when he was in the line of sight of Clutch, because Clutch is probably the most prone champion in the game to a Super Shotgun landing max damage, because obviously the shotgun is dictated by pellets, right? Where if more pellets connect, it will do more damage. Against Clutch in particular, that was sick by the way, he has a much higher chance of just being taken out by the Super Shotgun specifically.
And here we go. Oh, that was just that sort of psychic rocket launcher. And it's a shame because Visal had such a really strong first round and the start of round 2 in that second map, but Claus was just able to bring it around. And again, we say it over and over and over again, adaptation, you know, the ability to really just adjust to what's going on. And I think that's what we saw the most from Claus in that series.
Yeah, right there, obviously stealing the health away from him. I think it's pretty much what happened this entire set, where Claus really knew how to chase. Like right here, speaking of which, his knowledge of when he can chase me, like 25 damage per blast,
and then 50.
And then it ticks down, on top of everything else you're channeling. And this right final moment here, where he just got that amazing spawn. wichtL spawned right in the line of sight of Claus, who had a lightning gun ready to go, and on that default spawn health and armor, there's nothing he can do.
I think that means we actually do have one duel left to go today.
We do. Inns versus Cypher, saving potentially the best for last. Cypher's been on an absolute rampage in Quake Champions at the moment, recently picked up by Virtus Pro. So that's clearly a big deal for the Quake community, that these teams are really starting to pay attention to the Quake World Championship, which is shaping up to be a belter so far with the talent we already have lined up for the regionals. Speaking of the regionals, this final set will determine the 8th player that will be making it to regionals for week number 1. However, it's not over after this moment. We have Sacrifice coming up next. However, before we get into this Cypher set, we'll be right back. We're going to one last break before this duel match takes place, and don't go anywhere.